Turia Mureba. Turia Mureba, that's correct. Um, and I know her because she's also my sister-in-law, so know her personally as well. So she's going to be talking about uh, domestic. Actually, let me see if I can have her bio come up so I can read it. Okay. Yep. So Catherine, okay, sure. I think that connects, yeah. So Catherine is actually the founder of Bernice Women, another nonprofit organization, and it actually helps women deal with domestic violence and provides support in various ways. A very important topic in our community, is usually not talked about. So we're glad to have her here and tell us a few bits and pieces and enlighten us, just like all the other speakers have.
Thank you, Jemba Senkandwa. I'll say yours well. I'm in the Ugandan community, so I like to be called Turiamureba. It's important, the way you say it matters. Because it's like a name that is, I mean, we will see him. We don't underestimate such names. So try it again.
I need to practice some more. I need to practice some more. My Turiam, yes, okay. I have some more work to do. Thank you, sister.
No, I'm sorry. I just like to make fun of it because, you know, in the community we are, they constantly say, Turiamureba, or you know, and we lose a bit of what we are born with, right? So Turiamureba. I'm here, I'm going to speak briefly because of the interest of time. Like I have already been introduced, I'm the founder of Bernice Women. Bernice Women is a pilot program of Minority Wealth Gap. So we are under the Minority Wealth Gap. We work in Uganda. So Uganda is our home. Domestic violence in Uganda. We started off as a young group of like 5, you know, corporate girls speaking within each other about stories of our marriage, of our friends, of what's happening around us. And we just decided, you know, we have to do something about it. So every time you hear domestic violence, you think of village, right? Home, women are being beaten, blah, 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 blah. No, it's in the corporate world. It is in the environment we live in currently. I'm originally from Bernice, so some of the people from Vermont, so some of the people that I work with, and I was blessed to know that when I first moved here, I looked quickly for a group that was connected to the same thing. And I met a group in Vermont called Steps. And when I joined, the ladies that gave their stories or the men that gave their stories, they were similar to what we talked about back home. And I was like, I thought I was coming to the land of, you know, dreams, where things happen, right? They're speaking about violence. They're speaking about domestic violence. Women are still suffering the same thing. And it's not violence just for women, it's for men as well. Again, people always think it's just the women that get abused. And abuse is different. It's a variety. It's the things we've been talking about, financial, emotional, I mean, physical. It ties with what we talked about earlier, which is mental health. So I said I'm going to speak about it a little because I know the group has reduced, so it's kind of like what I wanted to share most importantly is thank you to Minority Wealth Gap for putting this together, because everything about violence stems from all the things that they talked about, starting from the first speaker. How you get a job, is your finances good? Because if they are good, nobody is going to be tying you down mentally, physically, emotionally. Are the children good? Are they happy? Thank God for Nashton Initiative. You know what I loved about their presentation? Not only are they dancing, but they dance with a smile. With a smile. That's gold right there. It's like they're happy and they're saying, I'm happy, I love to dance. And those are some of the things. Mental health, we've talked about it. It comes from how you feel, right? From when they are children. It's not only adults that get abused. Children get abused. So once parents are fighting and throwing, you know, bottles at each other, who's suffering? The child in the next room wondering what tomorrow is going to look like, right? I speak about it from a personal point. Like just making a decision to move to the US, my decision was based on domestic violence. So I know what I'm talking about. What were my kids thinking at that time? Could I take them out? Could I not take them out? What, making the huge decision. So these are issues that we are dealing with. And I would like Jemba just to skip a bit to play the video of some of the people we work with in Uganda. Like I said, we talked about everything, but listen, technology, IT, something that we are also helping in Bernice to help market women to understand just how to use their phone. So your phone is not just call somebody. You can actually use it to improve your business, right? Let's just hear a bit from that video.
Tuyize ebintu ez'ekitongole kya Benin's Woman. Abakyala bajja mu katale batubuulira nti waliwo ekitongole kisobola okutukulaakulanya ffe abakyala. Tuyize ebintu bingi nnyo mu musomo guno. Batuyigiza ebintu bingi nnyo kubanga njizeemu okusevinga ne njigamu okulwanirira eddembe lyange ng'omukyala ne njigamu okulwanirira eddembe ly'abaana bange. Badde nina essimu eno naye nga simanyi nkozesa yaayo naye banga nsobola okutundirako kuno ebintu byange nsobola okutundirako ebintu byange kati nga bwe tubadde mu covid babadde mu mbeera yakunyigirizibwa tolinanga ekijja ogenda kutunda bintu by'abantu bo tebakyatambula entambula bazikwata naye kati njize nnyo kubanga nina bakasitoma ate nga nabo balina omutimbagano kati nsobola okutundirako ebintu byange nebaza nnyo bannaye abakampuni ya Benis mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala temujjanga okwo mweyongere bambi n'okusomesa abavubuka bannaffe abalala.
So that's just one of the number of testimonies that we have as Bernice women. And I personally thank God that I attended like something like, I love attending workshops because every time you attend one, you learn. You learn. Like we learn about money. So I have to take that home to the people home, right? I learn about, you know, mental health. I learn about that's why I was asking the question. So you're speaking about hospitality. Can you help us bring people from home to come here, learn those skills and take them back home? You know, that is why I want to connect. And that's why we are all here. Connect with other people, learn things, and please, let's not forget about home. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Catherine Turiamureba. I hope that's a better pronunciation.
Yes, I do have a website, www.bernicewomen.org. You can go online and check out some of the work that we've done. And then also you can call. There are some contacts on the website. Email us, text us. You know, as Ugandans, now that you've mentioned that, we always move here and forget that we've left people back home. When we are looking for funding, we are looking from other people. But I think we can start funding ourselves from here. That's an important thing. So check out the website. You feel like you want to fund some of these women, you know, they're just home. They go to the market daily. We don't only help the women, but we're helping their children through MWG to go to school, learn these skills. You know, you'll see some of the testimonies on there on our website.
Okay, another question?
I think mine is very simple. Thank you very much, Baile, for highlighting all this. One, do we have a linkage for the men too? Because the world knows violence against women, basically. So whenever a man stands up and says something, say, he's a weakling, go away, go find something else. But is there a foundation meant for the men? Because truly...
You know what's funny? That's a thing that they always ask us back home at Habasajja. Naye, fortunately, our thing is called Bernice Women. But we cater for the men too. You will see, like, if you happen to be home and check with us, we have men under our category because we know that men are abused too, like I said as well. Men have been abused and are still being abused, especially when, you know, some of the negative things of us women being in financially stable. Some men feel like they have been abused. But what we do as Banis women, we are not saying we are going to take away the problem, but we're saying, like any other organization, we're going to lead you to where you can get help, right? We're going to take you to a safe place. We're going to connect you to a counselor. We're going to, stuff like that. So yes, men are a part of what we do.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Catherine. Now we're down to our last speaker of the day, which is Jackie Senkandwa. That one I cannot mispronounce since it's my name also.
Oh, did you pronounce that one right?
Senkandwa, I think I got it.
We just want to make
my
sure.
My dad's name. So, Jackie, she's the president and founder of MWG, and I happen to be married to the lovely lady as well. So I'm happy to introduce her.
I just want to thank you for coming. Thank you for staying till the end. But I hope you get the concept of the wealth gap. It's not just one thing, right? It's financial education. It's mental health. If you're not thinking right, you can't work, right? It is getting access to jobs, right? It is all the people that were listed. So we're hoping to continue to make these workshops the norm. We are targeting the youth, the young ones. We want to break the cycle. We want our youth to do better than we did. That is the goal here. So when you have your youth, 15, 16, in these workshops, drag them here. Whatever they pick, they pick. Whatever they don't pick, they all have different interests, right? Financial education, I love that. So one of the things that I want to alert ourselves as we're here is we have to think about there's a lot of funding targeting us, all right? A lot of funding and a lot of opportunities. We don't know how long these opportunities are going to stay here. But since we are here and for some reason they are targeting us, I'm pleading with you here, let's engage. Let's engage with these people. If they say, I want to hire you, push your kids in there, right? Let them get the skills. If they say, you know, we're giving you funding for these, go get the funding, right? Don't be shy about getting the money. Because what happens is when you learn from the the Asian community, when they come here, they are all about resources and understanding the system and what can I get, and then when they get better, they do what? They go back home and get their cousins there, you know, because you know what you left back home, right? So it is important when you're here, instead of saying, oh, I don't have any money, no, there's money coming and there's more funding coming, but we all have to be alert. So in a nutshell, can you help me with my charity slides? No, the Kindra slides. So we went for a DOL meeting, and in DOL, they said we have to reach the ordinary individual anywhere we can. And the way we reach the ordinary individual is not just by ourselves, it's by partnerships. All these things you've seen are partnerships. Take Soup is a partnership, National is a partnership, mental health is a partnership, right? That's how the system operates. But what they want to hear at the bottom line are these stories. Stories like Joyce. Joyce is a single mom. She was the one who was helping us cook. How are we impacting our lives? Her life, right? We're giving her opportunity to sell, right? Giving her exposure to more NGOs. These videos are going to go online. So when we post them online, you don't know who's going to come look at them, right? You're giving that exposure. We have to think differently. We have to think about who's my next champion, Jemba. Turn the slide. Jimmy. Jimmy graduated from back home. You remember what our country is under 80% unemployment, right? So Jimmy couldn't find a job. So I'm like, Jimmy, listen, you do for me the slides, you try to update my website. I took him through Dell. I'm like, okay, do something, right? He had a bicycle. He's like, oh, I have this printing business, and we started his own business, right? We're like, okay, Jimmy, do a printing business, have a printer, do something, right? And then he has this bike, he's like, I'm biking everywhere, half the time I'm tired, I can't even cover. So we're like, okay, Jimmy, I'll give you a motorcycle. In exchange, you do my clips, you do my graphic designs. And like $1,500 is a lot of money for him back home, right? So, but this is how you change people's lives. The next slide, please. There was another champion. Julian. I love Julian's story. Julian is from Bernice. She was a victim of domestic violence. She left her husband but didn't have no work. I think the job she had, she got laid off. So I'm like, Julian is in IT. So I'm like, Julian, come here. We're having a Dell meeting. Come, let's learn. So Julian helps me do my QR codes, all that stuff. She learned with Dell. And then she helps me look into foundations. So every time she gets money from me, right, the cut goes to her, right? Some of that money. Guess what I'm doing back home? I'm lifting them. I'm lifting them because the world is just so small these days. People can do so much stuff for you. So let's go to the next slide. Yes, go to the next slide. So when we went to the DOL meeting, they said, listen, these people plan ahead. We know America. The next 7 years. It's called the ETA Vision 2030. What is that vision? It has 4 pillars, and I would like to read what the 4 pillars are. Broker and build partnerships with businesses and training providers and workers. This is a mandate they gave us. They selected 500 organizations, and they said, use peer lead, figure it out, innovate the way you can, right? But this is what we're telling you to do in the next 7 years, including new entrants and youth to ensure all training leads to good jobs across sectors, e.g. education, infrastructure, supply chain, and manufacturing. I'll tell you about that later. Next slide. Ensure our programs focus on workers and communities who have been left behind. From re-entry to rural to opportunity youth. Next slide. Engage federal, state, and local leaders. You know that Mothers Union, that's what we've been doing, right? All those chats we're sending you were like, these local leaders aren't listening to us, right? And the private sector to prepare, support, and invest in workers and communities to prepare for jobs of the future and emerging industries. Next slide, please. Support good jobs and protections for care workers, from nursing, early care, mental health, and more, with a focus on low-wage, BIPOC, BICOP, young adult, and women workers. So the summary at the conference was, listen, we're going to bring back jobs to this country for national security reasons. You all know what's happening in China. You all know what's happening in Russia, right? The US needs to be secure. They are bringing back these jobs to you, all right? No more offshore jobs. But when they bring them back, they want you trained. That's why all these people are offering free training, because it is funded by the federal government. That's why it's free. Are you getting the picture now? So that's why you have to take advantage of these opportunities. If you don't, I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm going to Uganda and getting Jimmy and Julian and whoever it is that is interested, because you're not, right? So you're going to be seeing a lot of immigrants coming in the next 7 years. But since you're here and you have the opportunity and you have your kids, jump. or else we're going back home. And they'll be so glad to get on that flight and do it. And be trained and get the jobs. So that's the message to you right now. I know as Minority Wealth Gap, it seems a big vision, but what I'm literally being is the passage to the networks in the back. I'm the entry point. I'm alerting you what's happening so that you can make an informed decision for the next 7 years. Because if you don't, someone else is gonna come and take the opportunity and you'll be left behind because you didn't take action when you had to. Because right now, you've also seen the clips. They're going back home. They're looking for those nurses, right? Why do you think they're looking for them? They are critical sectors. There is a shortage in the nursing industry, in the hospitality industry. That's why they're here, looking for you. In the IT sector, that's why they're here, looking for you. So that's why they make the time. Because they're like, hey, if I can get you, then I don't have to pay the ticket to bring someone. Makes sense, right? But you need to understand how the system works. Now that you know, don't stop. You can literally change the youth tomorrow, their destiny for life. And the beauty is, if they are set, guess what? Guess who's ready for retirement? Exactly. That's the point. Make them work so you retire early, right? And for the community leaders, please, David, we need to get into housing. I am coming to your home. We need to engage. There's an opportunity for those that understand the business world. Some of us are not sleeping. We're very much awake. We will not stop until we get everything we can get, right? But thank you for coming. I hope that blesses you, and that comes to the end.
Oh, my. I just want to take this opportunity to